I call this meeting to order. Studio City Neighborhood Council Outreach Committee at 5:01. Call to order, roll call. So roll call. Epstein is here. Jerry Lewis. Merci.
Here.
Adam. Victoria. No. Nicki.
Here.
Justine.
Here.
So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 is not a quorum. Mr. Mendel, are you online?
I just got back.
4, 5, 6.
4 out of 7 is a quorum.
All right, so we're good to go then. And I think Victoria is going to join us in a minute. She just called me. Thank you, Barry. Announcements, introductions from the chair. Any announcements from committee members that is non-agenda? No. Okay, item 3, public comments on non-agenda items. This is for anyone who is not on the committee that would like to, hello, Adam.
Hello.
Anyone from the public that would like to mention anything that is not on the agenda? And we move on. And I believe no, any announcements from government officials? No. Let's see, the one official is not here. Approval of the minutes. That's just a show of hands by consent. If you approve the minutes, just raise your hand. Okay, unanimous consent, that's approved. And now we did agenda item number 6, discussion of possible sponsorship and motion regarding the Tujunga Village Street Fair. And that's a presentation by 2 members of the Tujunga Village business group. That's Brad Rowan and Matt Epstein.
And I have to, this is Merci. I have to recuse myself, so I'm going to get off now.
Okay, I'll text you, Merci, when we're all done and finished.
Okay.
Okay. And full disclosure, I am related to one of the 2 people who's going to make a presentation, but there is no conflict of interest on our part. So, Matt, are you online?
I am.
Okay, there you go. So Matt, Brad, would you like to make your presentation about the street fairs?
Sure. Brad, you want me to start? Okay, I will start. I could not hear an answer from him, but I'll go ahead and start. So I've been the owner of Vitello's. I purchased it with my wife about 22 years ago. And Brad was my partner on this until about 4 years ago, when he turned the beautiful age of 70. And his plan was always to have me buy him out and him to just retire and relax and have a great world. Well, that happened, but then about a little over a year ago, he got bored of retirement and opened up Pearl's hot dog stand right down the street. So he's online, not representing Vitello's, which he used to, but representing Pearl's as one of the merchants here on Tujunga. And Brad and myself have been involved in the street, like I've been for 22 years, and Brad probably about 17 or 18 years. And there was always a holiday event here on Tujunga where the street would be closed off and shut down for the night, and it was a lot of fun always on the for the Christmas for the first. I believe it was the first Saturday of December every year, and it was a lot of work to shut it down. It was a lot of just a lot of work to do it, but we did it, and it was always very successful. Well, a couple of years ago, retail business period is very, very difficult. So we have been doing a little bit more. We've been doing art walks. We've been doing summer festivals. We just completed about a month or so ago a a wine and music festival where we had 2 live bands. We set up a stage, and it was a lot of fun. And these events bring thousands and thousands of people mostly from the Studio City area. We're all volunteers. We all put it together. We all pitch in. The plan going forward now is to do it once a quarter, to have once a quarter, shut down the street and have a different event. We have an art walk, which is going to be for the next quarter. I told you about the summer event that we just completed, and then we'll do the Christmas event, and then we'll do a winter, spring event. And so it'll be 4 times a year. And again, the whole idea is to, again, bring the community together. We had the Chamber of Commerce was a co-sponsor the last couple times, and they're doing the art festival as well as a co-sponsor. And we had, at this last event, we had 1 realtor and we had 1 lawyer who also became co-sponsors. And for that, they get a larger booth presence, they get signage, they get advertising. We would love to have the neighborhood council involved in co-sponsorship and make it an ongoing statement for the neighborhood council, as well as someone else who co-sponsors it is our city council member. They give us it's expensive to shut the street down, the permits and the cops and everything else like that, so they pay for some of that as well. And that's our ask. Our ask is we would love to partner with you guys. You guys represent the interest of Studio City, both residents, businesses, renters, everybody. And that's what this event's all about. It's just about a sense of community.
Yeah, and Matt, if I could jump in, and if you look at the demographic of who actually shows up to these events, it's all about family and kids and dogs, and we get a massive turnout. We get really thousands of people show up, and it's been getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. This last springtime in the village music event was one of the biggest ever, according to LAPD. It was a huge event, very successful. We had a combination of music and arts and food, of course, and crafts, everything. And
a car show.
And a car show, which brings out the big kids in all of us. So I just think it almost doesn't make sense for the council not to be involved. I mean, you are our neighborhood council and we are your neighborhood. We should be doing as much as we can together, only to make us stronger. I hate the cliche, it takes a village, except it takes a village. And, Matt has worked just tirelessly to get this done with some of the other people on the street. And honestly, we need some help to make this bigger and better and get it to where it needs to be.
Can you, the ask is for $2,500 per event times 4. And then neighborhood council would get in return. As for sponsorship, what would be the?
We would hug every member.
Don't want that.
Yeah. And
sorry.
We're in.
So
we're in. There we go.
free hugs whenever you come to Tonga Village. No, look, again, this is new for us as far as the quarterly, and it cost us, our last event cost us, I believe it was around $14,000. So, we want to do, that 14,000 was from for the most part, it was from most of the businesses. So again, the whole idea is to promote the business, promote the street, and to promote the community. So the co-sponsorship right now is, would include the booth. You guys would obviously have to man it, which you should, and the booth placement would be important. And again, you guys would be involved in that, along with the folks that put the booths out on the streets. It would include, we do door hangers to all the residents in the community before each one of these events, announcing it. We have signage, we have advertising, and that's part of the 14,000 as far as the local advertising. We have our Facebook ads, we have our social media, we send out some really nice flyers that all the businesses send out as well. And so that would, your logo and would be part of that as well.
So let me
it'd be
read-
a prominent part of it.
Go ahead, Brad.
Right.
No, it would be the prominent part of it. If you are the sponsor or one of the sponsors, it should be you should have a top line sponsorship.
So in their documents provided to Neighborhood Council, their bullet points are: as a community partner, your organization will receive prominent logo placement on event marketing materials, recognition on event signage, recognition across social media before and after, premium booth placement, opportunity to engage directly with thousands of community members, and recognition as a community partner, helping make these free family events possible.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to open it up to the board for any questions, comments.
Love it.
I'll jump in. I'm a little bit new, so forgive me if these questions are answered or how they're sort of handled. But I'm just wondering, is the 2,500 what you charge any business to be a sponsor, or is that? I guess I'm asking because we also are all obviously volunteers, and our call to action is to create community, and to kind of have people get more involved. So I'm just wondering, like, is there, I guess, are we the same as like a private business who maybe has a budget to do this 4 times a year, or is there any room to kind of partner more on the volunteer community-based level? I just was curious.
Sure.
That's a great question. And you know what? I think it is something that if you guys, it's a great question, because at our last event at the music and wine festival that we had 2 sponsors. One was an attorney and one was a local realtor. And it would be, if you guys were to commit to an ongoing, I think we should give Brad, I mean, we'd have to talk about it with the other folks. I can't answer it, but I think if you guys said we'd like to get a credit for, to be a sponsor versus a co-sponsor and have bigger signage based on the fact that you guys are volunteers and you guys, I think it's definitely open. I think it's a great question and a great opportunity.
Yeah, because I think,
Brad?
yeah, I mean, I just think it would be good, and I am also a business owner myself, and I'm just thinking, like, what I would be looking for as a business owner versus what our committee really is trying to do is reach more people. We don't sell
Sure.
anything, we give everything for free, and we just create community events. So I'm just, yeah,
Sure.
I think it would be nice to maybe have something where we're involved in all of these, and I'm sure
Yeah.
Andrew can speak more towards budget. I know we have a budget meeting this week too. I don't know what that looks like. So I just figure the partnership could be valuable long-term versus what maybe a private business could offer.
Yeah.
So,
I like that. I like that idea.
I also want to, I see Denise Shaw from CD2, Councilmember Adrien Nazarian's office has joined us. I don't know, Denise, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear
Okay,
you.
there you are.
Hi, everyone.
So Matt and Brad just did their presentation, and now we're sort of opening it up to the board and to the public for questions. But did you want to say anything about the street fairs?
Just that the street fairs are a great for the community, for the businesses. They're always very busy, and not only do you get people coming just from the local community, you get people from outside the community. Last time the car show and music festival was fantastic. You have people coming from all over. So our office has always been very supportive of the street fairs, and we love that they're doing more.
Okay, I don't see any hands raised. Are there questions from, again, board and now the public? There we go. Scott Mandel.
Hi, thanks, Andrew. Great presentation. Justine, you stole my thunder. I wanted to make the same point that we're not selling anything other than the neighborhood council trying to get some more public participation in a volunteer association. So some type of a ongoing discount would be great. But even having said that, the bang for the buck is, I think, incredible. I've been to almost all of the fairs, and the participation versus the amount of effort that this neighborhood council would have to do to simply man a table, as opposed to things like music in the park and movies in the park. And I think you could even get a board member or two to even show up, besides just this committee who does so much of the heavy lifting. As far as placement of the booth, I would request, hopefully Denise wouldn't object, to be right next to CD2. We have a great relationship with them, and the people who come who would want to talk to us and or Denise would want to talk to both. And there can be some synergy and bouncing back between what the neighborhood council does in association with Council District 2. So that's pretty much all I got at the moment. Thanks.
Yeah, I think, Scott, what you're saying is perfect. I think that you guys should be together as neighbors on the street. I think that your booths should be more prominent than the rest, because you are an ongoing, or you may be an ongoing sponsor. Yeah, you should get premier placement, both you and CD2 premier placement, so that you achieve your objective, which is to get as many community members to know you, to recognize you. I know that Matt and I, being on the street as restaurateurs, we see the neighbors. Some of us, I'm outside as often as I can be. I say to everybody, a lot of people don't even know we have a council. And I'm sure that is your objective, to make sure they do. And what better event quarterly, to come and meet the members. I think it's great.
Yeah, and one thing is that the event, for the most part, is going to be it's going to be an evening, so it's not like you have to be there all day and all night kind of a deal. We did that on the last one, and it kicked our ass. I mean, it was too long. To set up the breakdown, it was a 12, 16, 14-hour day for Brad and myself and the other folks. That it was too much. So in the past, it's been, what has it been, Brad? Like 6 to or 5 to 9 kind of a deal.
5 to 9. It's 4 or 5 hours maximum. And for the street vendors too, they can't sit there for 10 hours again. So for everybody, we'll condense it. We'll make it more precise. And I think it makes perfect sense.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Go, Nicki.
I just have more like a logistical questions, of course. Sorry. Like, do you guys reach out to artists and like the vendors and find them? Like, you guys source them out, and how do you like source them? And then are there different fee structure that they have to pay to get a tent? How does that work?
We don't. We do source everybody. The group on the street that does that. We literally source out everything. A lot of them now are coming back to us wanting to know when the next event is, because they've been very successful. And then in general, maybe with exception, very few, everybody's paying the same amount of money. So every vendor, whether you're selling, jewelry, or you're selling pottery, or selling artwork, to get a table, a 10 by 10 space, everybody's doing the same thing. Unless you have a white dog. If you have a white dog, you pay more.
They waited to this meeting to
Of course.
Justine.
And we do,
Justine.
we've done dog adoption, which is a very big thing for the neighborhood. We love doing that. And, a lot of kids stuff, and we're going to do more of that to bring the neighbors in. So, yeah, but everybody pays the same fee.
Yeah, and the thing is too, is that we're careful. I mean, we don't have food vendors that are competing with the food brick and mortar. We don't have store vendors that are competing with the store brick and mortar. So yeah, it is a vetted process, and that vetting actually is through a lot of that. Most of that is done through the Merci, who had to recuse herself on this call. So, but again, it's you know, it's still a work in progress because it's not an easy lift, but yeah, it's, you know, the more we do it, the more we get into a regular groove, it'll be easier for us as far as, and the idea is to try to have, like, the one coming up is an art, it's an art festival, and we've got a lot of local schools. I think we've got 2 local schools that are going to be performing, and that's kind of where we're leaning in for future things as well, where we'll have a different school every quarter, or 2 different schools every quarter that will be performing on the stages, which is great for the students, but it's also great because the families come. So it's a win-win for all of us.
Justine?
Sorry, I have a lot of questions. So, do you guys have a committee? And if so, I'm just thinking, I'm making the suggestion, keep in mind, I'm 5.5 months pregnant and I'm new to the committee, but, in trading kind of for, maybe paying less for the sponsorship, I think, I mean, I'm just speaking for myself. I like, it would be fun for us to be involved on that committee, or help with other aspects besides just having a booth. I think that that's something that gets us more involved with, like, what's going on. I don't know if I can suggest that, but I just want to put that out there.
So a couple things. First of all, we're not offering you guys a discount. We're actually offering you the 2,500, but what we're offering you is more than what a business would get for the. So it's not a discount. We're offering you, I guess, a different kind of sponsorship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to be clear on that.
Okay.
And as far as being part, I mean, look, our committee there's usually about 10 people that come to the meetings, but the reality is there's really 3 people who do all the work, and you're talking to 2 of them, Brad, myself, and Merci. We do all the. So if there's somebody on the phone who wants to be part of growing our village here, and is actually going to show up and actually do work, we'd love that. I mean, you know, I don't think you really want to be involved in some of the mishigas that we go through on our committee meetings, but if you want to be part of it, then that's one of the things you guys put as a restriction. You know, I don't have a problem with that.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, just something to throw out there as a thought.
Yeah. As long as you name your
questions?
child after, as long as you name your first child after Brad, that's fine.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
What's the female version of Brad?
Oh,
Bradina?
Lord.
Okay, moving on.
Are there any other questions or comments? If not, what I want to say is, we have a budget meeting. Our board has a budget meeting Wednesday, and what I'd like to do is to bring a motion before the board. And I have a motion that I've written that I will read, and I'm gonna, it's just for board members to listen to and then to vote on. Okay, you all ready? So this is a Studio City Neighborhood Council Tujunga Village Street Fair motion. The board of the Studio City Neighborhood Council approves a sponsorship of $10,000 to fund the expansion of the Tujunga Village Street Fair from a single annual holiday event into a series of 4 community street fairs throughout the year, $2,500 per event. And this is the background and the rationale. For years, the annual Tujunga Village Holiday Street Fair has been one of Studio City's most anticipated community events. Due to its success, organizers are expanding this tradition to 4 events per year to transform Tujunga Avenue into a pedestrian-friendly destination filled with local shopping, dining, live entertainment, family activities. Each street fair is a vital neighborhood celebration that, number 1, attracts between 3,000 and 7,500 attendees, drawing hundreds of local families and visitors from across the San Fernando Valley. It provides significant economic benefit to local merchants, restaurants, and artisan vendors, and creates a safe, welcoming, and free environment for residents of all ages. Hosting these professionally managed events incurs substantial operational costs ranging between $10,000 and $20,000 per fair, covering city permits, street closures, traffic control, insurance, and public safety. By approving a $2,500 sponsorship per event, that's $10,000 total for the series, Studio City Neighborhood Council will secure founding community partner status. This ensures the SCNC receives prominent logo placement on marketing materials, event signage, premium booth space to engage directly with stakeholders, and robust recognition across social media. The fiscal impact is a total of $10,000 to be encumbered from the fiscal year 2026-2027 Studio City Neighborhood Council budget. So that's the motion I would like to present to the Budget Committee. Is there any comment from the board on that motion? Is there comment from the public on that motion?
Good
Then
job.
I'd like, yes. Is there a comment?
I just said good job. Sounds
Oh, thanks, Brett.
Yep.
Don't interrupt
I
me.
think you should approve it.
Okay, so now we're gonna do a vote. I'm gonna mute those two, Epstein and Rowan. Okay, so now we're gonna do a vote. Epstein votes yes. Lewis, I don't think Jerry joined us. Mercy's recused. Adam,
Yes.
Victoria,
Yes.
Nicki,
Yes.
and Justine.
Yes.
Okay, so that passed unanimously. So I will present this Wednesday night to a budget committee. Again, it's a Zoom meeting. Brad and Matt, you're more than welcome to join that as well if you're interested. That's that. Thank you for joining us, Matt and Brad.
Yep. Thanks for having
Appreciate
us. Thanks, everybody. Take good care.
Thank
All
you,
right,
guys.
thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you, everybody. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
And now we move on to agenda item number 7, discussion on Studio City 100th anniversary.
Want to tell
there-
Mercy that she can come back?
Yes. Will someone text her? Or do you want me to?
Sorry, I don't think I have her number.
Oh, let me do it. Sorry. Thank you for the reminder.
No problem.
Okay. Let's tell her it didn't pass. She rejoins us.
And just to make a comment, I think this is exactly what outreach should be a part of, is these events.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
And just so this committee knows, I met with Denise and Dunn, which is Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. That's the group that manages all the neighborhood councils. We had a meeting last week, and they are very enthusiastic about this idea. They love the idea of a large, free community event and neighborhood council involvement in.
And I also wonder, Andrew, if part of the centennial next year, if we are doing these 4 events, we could do something to kind of celebrate that at the 4 events. So
That's a good segue. It's a good segue to the next agenda item. Mercy,
Yes.
you're here. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the centennial of Studio City, which is next year. So Studio City will be 100 years old. There is, I don't know, I hope everybody read, I posted 2 things on the agenda. One is a motion and one is sort of a background. I've done some preliminary research, but I haven't stepped out too far. So if you look at the worksheet, what I've done is identified various organizations in Studio City that I'm guessing may be involved in some kind of celebration of Studio City. And that includes, but it's not limited to, the Chamber of Commerce, the Residents Association, the BID, the Tahunga Village Business Group, both council offices, the mayor's office, our assembly office, the Senate, county, organizations like the Campo de Cahuenga, NBC Universal, Radford Studios, and then schools, both private and public. Again, I have no idea what and if anybody is planning anything. So my idea at this point is to create a letter of introduction and to approach these various groups and see what they might be planning. That to me is the first, that to me is the first approach. I am welcome to any and all ideas. So now I open it up to anybody. Raise your hand or speak up. I'm open to, again, any ideas on this topic. Justine.
I was just going to ask a quick question about like when I think of the center of Studio City, I guess I think kind of like Laurel Canyon, Ventura Boulevard. I don't know who these people were, and maybe they're on this list, but is there whoever does like the banners on Ventura, like all the way down? Is that included in this list? Because I think it'd be cool to have that.
I don't know if Denise is still on here, but I believe the banners that's city, and that's whoever buys them. I think the ones that I saw.
I could answer that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. There, you could put banners up, which I think would be a fantastic idea. It would just have to be permitted through the city. And there's a limited time period. I think it's like, forget the max, but it's limited. It's not something you can put up for the whole year, but you can put them on up and down. It could be something the bid partners with, or all the sponsors partner with. But I think that's just a great idea to bring awareness to the fact that it is the 100-year anniversary.
So sorry, Denise. Justine, it's called the BID, Business Improvement District.
Okay.
And it goes from, oh gosh, I don't even know the boundaries. Radford on Ventura Boulevard, Radford to, I don't know if it's Coldwater or Fulton. And they're a group of business owners, and they all pay a fee. And they, it takes care of all kinds of things, promotion, cleanup, beautification, that kind of stuff. So that's one group there. The Chamber of Commerce is also in that area. I believe the BID. And then there's also the Farmers Market area on Ventura Place. And that is in partnership with Residents Association. And Barry actually is on this call. Can speak to more to that than me. But there's a hand raised, last digit's 281.
That's me.
Oh, hi, Barry.
Yeah, the neighborhood council 15 or 20 years ago did banners along Ventura and some of the other north-south streets. It was quite expensive, but it was just sort of general outreach about, the Studio City Neighborhood Council. But it is expensive, but and like Denise said, you don't get it up. You'd want to target it, around a celebration, because you don't get to have it up for a year. DeLuca Lake did it in 26 for theirs, as I recall seeing some. But you probably wouldn't do every single light post. You'd want to and you would not want to just do the BID. You'd want to go on Ventura from Lancashire all the way to Fulton. But, maybe, I don't know, every 500 feet or something. But somebody should investigate what the cost is now, because I remember when we did it way back when, it was like $5,000 for not that many of them. So partnering with other entities might not be a bad idea.
It's also a little cart before the horse, because I don't know if there's going to be 1 or 100 celebrations. You know what I mean? And I think we can find that out pretty soon after we do some outreach. Bernice has a hand raised.
Hi. I'm new to this, so I'm not sure if what I have to say is right, but I was thinking about social media. like Patch. I don't know if they're still in business, but that was like a local newspaper, just to put it out there that it's going to be 100, just like they did for the 250th for the United States. It's going to be the 100th birthday of Studio City. And you can mention what you just talked about. Also, 4 times a year, you're going to have those parades or whatever you want, street scenes. And also on nextdoor.com, they might have people who are willing to volunteer or who have money to donate. This year, you get to deduct, if it's for charity, you get to deduct 1,000 off of income taxes. So some people in the business might be interested in donating supplies or help, or like I said, I'm just putting it out there. I'm not sure if any of you pick up on any of that, you know.
No, that's a good idea. Thank you. Barry?
Yeah, I was just going to say, you mentioned one or more events. I think, and cultural affairs, the Cultural Affairs Committee is meeting Thursday at 7, if anybody wants to attend at Radford Studios. But this anniversary really is about where Studio City got its name, and that's because of the studio, Radford Studios. And I know Cultural Affairs is talking to Katie, our SCNC liaison at the studio here, to see what's exactly is going on, because they are in transition with Netflix in escrow to buy the property, but hopefully they would want to be involved. But we want, you know, there is management at the studio now that we're trying to engage and find out exactly what they want to do. And we have 2 people on the committee that worked in 2010. There was a 75th anniversary of Republic Studios on the lot here that was well attended. And for that was a really combined event between the Neighborhood Council, the Chamber of Commerce, and the studio. So I think if there's one big event, as long as the studio owners, whoever that may be coming up, want to be involved, I think they might do something on the lot again, because that was on a Saturday in late September of 2010, as I recall. And there were thousands of people on the lot.
So what I'd like to do is have a coordinated effort. Either from this committee or a combination of, but I just don't want people stepping on each other's toes. I think, like I say, I've drafted a letter or an email rather that I'd like to go out to these various organizations. But I'd love it to be a coordinated effort, a unified effort from Neighborhood Council.
So why don't you hold on that until Cultural Affairs meets, and then you can get with Abby and coordinate that. Yeah.
Well, we have our vice chair. Merci is on this committee as well. She's the vice chair of Cultural Affairs.
Yeah. So I can report back once we meet on Thursday and see what the ideas are for Cultural Affairs, and then how we can partner with outreach, and together we send a letter out to all the other organizations. But yeah, it really should be one voice. You're right.
Is there a chance that your Cultural Affairs could do a meeting like this via Zoom rather than restricted to in person?
We can see. I'll check with Abby and see if she's fine with that.
I mean, it's just sometimes it's just physically hard to get onto that studio. But anyway, that's just a request.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. I don't think so. But let me double check with her.
Appreciate it, Victoria.
But not for this Thursday, because it's already on on the agenda.
You could
It's
revise
already
it.
set for this agenda.
You can't revise. You got time to revise. Anyway, it's
Yeah, it would have to be revised by 7 o'clock tonight, and it would have to be processed by done.
I also feel like we have time because it's still July. I'm
yeah,
just throwing it out there.
yeah.
And one other thing, Mary Mallory, who's on the committee, and this is going to be one of the discussion points. The actual year that the studio opened was in 28. There were things under construction in 27, but it didn't open till 28. And the post office wasn't assigned by the U.S. government and assigned a name, Studio City, also until 28. So I know one of the things that's going to be discussed Thursday night is, precisely the date and when would be the best time to have the biggest celebration anyway, be it at the studio.
Okay. Victoria, did you have your hand up?
Yes, my question also was, when was there going to be a centennial meeting scheduled exactly for that? Because I had some ideas, maybe we can try to find a 100-year-old residents. We could locate, 100-year-old buildings and make it kind of interactive. And then the other idea I had, I was on the last meeting agenda, but I guess on this one I wasn't. And it was interesting that the association had brought up the festivals, because I was thinking what would be awesome for the city, and you and I had kind of talked about it, was Porch Fest. We can bring music. I've done a lot of research since we've talked about it, and it would be a great way to bring together the community on a micro level. And what it, I can explain later, or we can set up a time for me to be on the agenda, but there could be micro mini events throughout the city and then incorporate businesses as well. And that could be a big event for us for the 100th anniversary.
Okay, so Victoria, let's make that an agenda item for the next meeting. Okay, and then as far as a meeting place, you reminded me, when I put out in social media about the centennial, I got a text from the owner of the Valley Relics Museum. Does everybody know?
Yes, I've been there.
Okay. And he goes, if you have if you want to have meetings or discussions or events or anything relative to Studio City's anniversary, I'll open up the museum to you guys. So that's something to think about for the future. And just for those that don't know, Studio City 100 years ago, I believe it was originally called Laurelwood or something of that nature. And then I think Max Sennett built this studio, which is now Radford, and previously was CBS and previously MTM. Anyway, he built the studio, and I certainly was under the impression it was 27, but I guess that'll be researched. But anyway, and that's when they changed the designation from Laurelwood to Studio City. Scott Mandel, hand raised.
I think Catherine was ahead of me, but if she doesn't mind, I'll go next.
Oh, sure, Catherine, I'm sorry. I wasn't tracking who was up first. Catherine?
Go ahead.
Okay, but first, I think it's great that you guys are getting way ahead of this, because it is going to come quickly. And there are so many if this then that possibilities. It's almost mind-boggling. Did I dream that at the last board meeting, the board voted that it would be the outreach committee that would be spearheading this? And I think I heard someone say that Cultural Affairs is contacting Katie about their plans. I mean, seriously, just work with Andy. The board voted on it. The Cultural Affairs is not handling this. They can work with outreach, but there needs to be one voice. Don't get ahead of yourself. And Radford is questionable. We also have some other deep-pocketed entities that were not around 25 years ago that are going to want to be involved. We got Sprouts, Harvard Westlake, Sportsman's, and the Riverwalk. And these people also need to be contacted by a committee that is not suing or has sued all of them except for Sprouts. So let's put a better face forward on getting some of these deep pockets to participate. SCRA is on the call. What are their plans? Is Sloros, I mean, they're into doing events now. What are their plans? And for cultural affairs, if you guys plan on discussing this, I think you should cancel the meeting and reschedule it so it can be on Zoom. Look at the participation here. You do it in person, you're going to have nobody at the meeting, and it's going to be another one of those private committees dealing with a major event with no public input whatsoever. Thanks.
Catherine?
I have ideas, however, maybe it's premature to delve into them. So I would like to see one committee and then assignments for specific things. Otherwise, it's a lot. I spoke to Sherman Oaks. They are also having their 100th centennial, and they are planning 4 events during the year. And they wondered if it made any sense to do joint events, but that's kind of ambitious. So
I'm aware of that. I agree with you. I think
And,
we need to have discussions with them.
okay, so we're wondering if it's going to be one event over a month's period or 4 events, or okay.
That's why I want to do the research. I want to do
Okay.
the reach out and yeah, see what's there. Denise? Denise, you have your hand right there. You go.
Yeah, I did. So I was wondering, would it make sense if you put together an ad hoc committee, or because I'm a little concerned about all the Brown Act stuff, and you know, this is a lot of planning and there'll be a lot of meetings, or putting together a group meeting with all the different stakeholders that is like completely separate, but the neighborhood council is part of, and to really come together with the, you know, a residents association, the bid, Chamber of Commerce, all these, Radford, all these big different organizations that are involved. So
agreed. I think it probably, to me,
and the council
it's
offices
leading,
to be part of it.
It's leading to an ad hoc.
But, and Scott, you probably know this better. How do you plan for an event that you're going to need lots of meetings on without the Brown Act stuff and, you know?
Well, all committee meetings are subject to Brown Act unless you do a advisory committee of less than a quorum of just board members. So I believe that magic number is 4. Four board members can go ahead and meet without being Brown Act. But if you add any stakeholder or a 5th board member, and with Zoom, I mean, I hear it's going to be difficult with a lot of meetings, but as Andy has sort of implied, as this goes further down the line, the neighborhood council may not be running this. The neighborhood council may be participating with others, and those others can simply report back. Like Midwood can say, we're doing, 3 months of events at Sportsman's celebrating the history of Studio City. Who knows what Harvard Westlake would do? Their place will be open and ready to go. And also Riverwalk. I mean, they've got a lot of empty space right now at Bed Bath & Beyond. I mean, who knows what they would want to produce? And it wouldn't be necessarily, I don't think, I'm maybe speaking out of turn, but it wouldn't be under the control of the neighborhood council. It would just be we would participate. So I think it
Right.
actually would wind up being simpler than some of the events that the neighborhood council actually runs and controls.
Right. I don't have the bandwidth. I don't think this board has the bandwidth to produce a centennial event. And that's why I want to, I spent 30 something years as a journalist. I want to do research first. I want to feel out the community and see what people are thinking about. And my guess is some of these, maybe some of these elected officials may not even be aware that Studio City Sherman Oaks are going to be celebrating 100 years. As you know, the Hollywood Bowl is 100 years old, and the LA Public Library downtown, it's 100 years old. And they're starting to do their events. And I'm tracking those just as an observer. But it's going to take a lot of research, and I don't know, and I'm certainly not putting it out there that this neighborhood council is going to coordinate the centennial events. But do we participate? Are we partners? Are we sponsors? Are we supporters? Let's find out.
But Barry, is the Residents Association discussing events?
Down the road.
Okay. I just think that it would be great to pull all the different organizations together and see what everyone's planning, if they're planning, and if there's a way that we could do one big event and incorporate everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I love the idea of having a first meeting at Valley Relics Museum. I think that would be a hoot and a half. I think that would be a blast. I have no idea what Tommy, who owns the museum, I don't even know if he has Studio City memorabilia there. I think there's some really cool research to be done on Studio City. And I know there's been books written about it, about the Valley and about Studio City and about Sherman Oaks. So again, it's research right now. Justine?
So
They have the
Don't-
Studio City Camera Exchange sign and a lot of old signage that's been taken down from businesses that are no longer here.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and don't forget about the flood. I think it was 1938. That's why they built the river here, because all the farmland was flooded out.
Maybe we should meet at Raging Waters then. Just kidding. Justine?
I was just gonna jump in and say, Andy, I think this is a great place to start, is reach out, and maybe we just are collecting data of who's maybe has something going on already, or who would be interested in participating, and create like a spreadsheet so we can provide that. I agree that I don't think we will be spearheading the event or whatever it might be, but I think it'd be nice for us to kind of glue together anyone that might be a good fit to get involved, and then we can partner or sponsor or get involved, because I do think we need to be a part of it. So I just wanted to I think this is a great idea to write a letter or have some sort of communication with these people that you've created the list of, and then start working from there, because we need a jumping off point.
I mean, Barry and Merci, this is more to you. You guys have your meeting, is it Thursday night?
yes, Thursday.
Yeah.
So Andy, I was wondering if you can send your letter to Abby and the rest of the cultural group, and then let us also give our input. And because we, again, need to be one voice when we send this out to all the other organizations and do an inquiry of what everyone else is doing, and then all possibly come together and do one big event, like Denise was saying, with everyone participating.
Here's my issue with that. I've already done a lot of work on this. And we've been tasked by the board to do the work, not cultural affairs.
Right.
Okay.
It's not a cultural affairs job to do. It's our job. So I can hold off on my email, and I want to speak to a few people about how we do that. But and I can wait a few days. And again, I don't really even want to physically attend the meeting. I think it'd only be fair if you did it Zoom like this, where we have 20 people or so involved very early. So I'm just putting it out there like that.
Okay, when do you plan to send out that email or that letter?
I mean, I don't know. Abby sort of wanted to have her meeting, and I want to hear your ideas. But again, I don't know that I can attend, and so I don't know what they'll be other than what you all relate to us.
Okay, can you
So I
send?
mean, I could guess I could wait till the end of the week or whatever.
Okay, can you wait until we have our meeting Thursday? It's because it looks like we can't make any changes and it might probably not be able to do a Zoom. So, but you know, we have time.
Yeah,
We're just,
we do. I can
And
certainly wait.
as Denise was saying, if all these entities are going to get together and do some big event, then the meetings are not going to be governed by the Brown Act. It's going to be a community meeting. And if a chair from outreach or cultural affairs wants to attend, that's fine. But it's going to be a community meeting that's not a Brown Act meeting amongst all these organizations, SCNC just being one of many, like you
Right.
are all saying.
Right. Victoria.
Thank you. I'd like to add, we should be including the Studio City Library.
It's on the list.
Okay, excellent.
On the list. I have, like I say, there's a link to my research, and there's a link to the original motion, but and my research is not finite. It's not done. There you go.
Nice.
It's just the beginning. It's just what I've started. There's the two libraries, or yeah, there it is. So these are just people, if you go back to page 1, there's a way to approach. I mean, I'm just curious what the schools might be. They may not even be aware, and we may be informing them for the first time, and they may put it on the curriculum, you know? So yeah, there's a lot of time, and there's a lot of research to do. So do I see a hand up from Bernice?
Yes, I want to add about the Studio City Library, where I found out that the river, was made by cement here because of the 1938 flood, was from an archivist who spoke at the Studio City Library. So besides what they might be doing, I would like to suggest maybe getting in touch with that archivist and seeing if she could add flavor to the whole history of Studio City.
Have you ever seen the rock on the bridge, the Colfax Bridge? There's
Yes.
that. You know what that rock symbolizes?
No.
I believe it's a stunt. It was done when they were making silent movies at the Max Sennett studio across the river. I believe it was a stunt that killed the star of the movie, and I believe that's what that rock commemorates.
Wow, that's
Just
not
a
so
little bit of trivia for everybody.
Yeah.
Chip, did you have your hand up? I'm sorry.
No, I didn't, Andy. Thank
Oh.
you. But the Friends of the LA River has exhaustive archives on the flooding and the channelization afterwards. So there's lots of places to get resources on any one of those moments in history.
Kat?
Yes, also from Council District 4, Mehmet Berker, who works in transportation now, he's a cartographer.
Mm.
And he could make a historical map or Google map of, historical markers or places that are on the historical register. He can make all sorts of maps for the event.
So I have an idea, since I can take notes, but anybody that has ideas like that, email me
Okay.
Email me, share any all ideas, and if you haven't met, those are all great ideas. All great. Justine.
I'll just email you because I was just
Okay.
thinking
Okay.
if we don't like spearhead whatever this is, but we participate, I think that's great. But I do think there's other ways that we can help look at Studio City where we started and where we are now, and maybe even doing like discounts or like 10% off Tahunga Village on this day in celebration of Studio City's 100th anniversary, and then do different sections of Studio City that have like opportunities for businesses to maybe get more people in their stores.
Barry, that's a great idea for the SCRA. They do that. They do a discount program.
Cool.
They
I'm just thinking like
businesses.
how to get people out and about and wanting to explore. So, but I'll email you more.
Okay. Any other comments, questions on the centennial? More to come on that. Okay, so that's a closed issue. The last issue, the agenda item, is it the last? Is the cleanup. It's not really the last. This Sunday, we're having our next community cleanup. It's Sunday. We start at 8:30. We go till, well, officially finish at 11, but it goes till noon out front of Vitella's. There's a flyer link to this. I will be there. Justine will not be there.
Sorry, it's my first wedding.
Nicki and I will be there. And anyone else is welcome to join. And I believe we also have a representative from Scott. This is an FYI. Representative from Horvath, Supervisor Horvath's office will be there if we want to talk to her. The next agenda item is a glass blower demo Instagram idea from Lori.
Hello. Yeah, I don't even know if that was my idea, but
Oh, it was. I took note.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was going to take credit for it just in case, but anyway. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think we should, if you're willing to put a little video on social media, I think that would be great. And I really thank you so much for putting the flyers all over social media as well. So I'd be happy to, since I know the subject so well, I would be happy to have someone just film me on their phone and me take one of my well, I have only one blower now, take my electric blower and show how powerful it is. And it's only, right now, I think the same blower costs about $200, including the battery and the charger and the blower. It charges very quickly. And maybe in a couple hours it charges. And then I could just explain, the dangers of the blower and show how easy it is to, sorry, all right. So my phone's ringing.
Silence your phone, please. Thank you.
Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I think it would be really easy for me to explain, how easy it is, and just to, for the property owner just to buy the blower and keep it charged a couple hours before their gardener comes and leave it out for their gardener. That's what I do. And about 7 or 8 of my neighbors are now doing it on my block, thank God. It's like pulling teeth, but, and a lot of the responses I get from people are, well, my gardener doesn't think they're strong enough. Well, that's not really true. And so I think it would be really important to show how strong they actually are, how powerful they can be.
Here's my idea, Lori, and I think this is a combination of this committee and sustainability, which starts in 1 hour, but also perhaps the youth committee. Now that we have a youth committee, I don't know, I haven't met anybody. I know one person or two on that committee, because I just don't know that we have Justine is a great filmmaker. She's done some Instagram stuff for us.
Oh, great.
But I'm not going to volunteer Justine unless she wants to do it. But it's really just somebody's going to have to take hold of this and produce it. So that's why I brought it to this committee. And if anyone is interested in doing a project like that, in other words, creating either one or a series of just short little Instagram videos on, gas blowers, the legality, the danger, the risk.
If I may, sorry, I just want to make sure that if we're doing something like this, it's not just about, to me, this feels like a very random topic. I'm just going to be blunt. If we're going to do something like this, I'd like it to reflect other things that Studio City residents may be concerned with, and maybe make it like a series of different things like, did you know X, Y, Z, like, and have some sort of, like once a week, did you know informational something, but to just do it about gas blowers and
Well,
nothing
here,
else
just so
feels very.
to put it in context, it became illegal to use a gas blower in Los Angeles. I think it was a year or two ago.
In the 1990s, actually.
But I
In
mean,
the
when did it really
1990s.
become an issue?
It's always been an issue in the 1990s, and then what happened was the gardeners went on a hunger strike. That was in the 90s, and so the city, barely enforces it. So that's why we're just trying to reason. My strategy is just, with the flyers and doing something like this is to just try and reason with homeowners. And by the way, Justine, this is a huge issue for the neighborhood council. This is a biggie. The neighborhood council a couple years ago wrote a motion to our council members and asked them to make it easier to enforce it. Nothing happened. It's these things are so horribly toxic. It's unbelievably toxic. And if you're not familiar with them, I'll tell you how toxic they are. This is per the California Air Resources Board on one of their web pages. It states that a regular gas blower that your gardener uses, they usually use, I don't know, my neighborhood, they tend to use it 10 to 15 minutes. It has the same pollution impact, same carbon impact of driving like a Toyota Corolla from LA to Denver. And a gas lawnmower actually isn't as bad. It has the same carbon impact according to the California Air Resources Board of driving a Toyota Corolla from LA to Las Vegas. So they don't have, it's not like cars. They don't have catalytic converters. They don't have air filters, they're just horrible.
We have a couple of hands raised, Lori. Denise?
Denise?
I wanted to mention that I think this could be a good idea to educate the homeowners, because what's happening is I am getting weekly reports about different properties that are doing the gas blowers. And what will happen is we will put in a request, and there's one constituent in Colfax Meadows who does this weekly. We'll put in the request. The problem is the investigator needs to see them in the act. And if they do, so they tell them the time and the date that the gardener is typically there. Now, if they do, what they do is they issue them a notice, and eventually they will get fined. But the fines are not that large. That basically, to them, it's the cost of doing business. But and I think, in fact, the fines could go to the property owner. So
that's true.
This is a way
Yes,
to educate the property owner that there's an alternative here. Buy one and have it for your gardener when they come to your house. So I think it could be useful and helpful for people to know.
Chip?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So Justine, the context of this, in my mind, was taking to the youth group. We're now to a place in Southern California where the Air Quality Management District has done so well, taking all the toxins and the paints and the solvents and everything else. It's difficult to find the next thing to take out to clean the air. It's why they're bothering to go for the pilot light in your stove. So one of the thoughts was to get the youth committee. There is a air quality and water quality monitoring device that is available from the Studio City Public Library. They had it at the Music in the Park event this June. And they turned it on and they were downwind of the food trucks and found out that being downwind of the generators of the food trucks made the air wildly unhealthy relative to AQMD standards. So the thought was to build that premise with the youth group, then have the youth group, anyone that wants to do this, hopefully it's a team of 2 or more, they get the device and they go out to various areas. We could certainly sit there and Lori can quote the AQMD stuff, but it would be powerful to have the meter in the middle of a front yard and have someone walking around with a gas blower. Also, pickup lines at schools are terrible. So you'll sit there and you'll have all of these parents wrapped around the children waiting on the parking lot with their engines idling while they're on the phone, suffocating the kids. The parking lots, pickup lines, the farmer's market, if you've ever been over there by the kids section, but up and down the farmer's market, there are as many as 20 generators. So documenting that in much the same way that Lori's idea of decentralizing the electric blowers and having the owners do it, the farmer's market could be electrified.
So let me put it out there. I'm sorry, Chip, just to sort of to put a bow on it. The reason it's at this committee, you know, it came from sustainability and it's at this committee is, will someone want to take this on as a project to produce maybe one, if not maybe a series of Instagram videos of shorts, maybe working in partnership with the youth committee.
What is the, I'm sorry, I don't understand why we're bringing in the youth committee. Doesn't that complicate things and slow things down?
Because they can cut video much faster than I can. I know how to produce. I know how to produce television. I know how to produce social media. I don't want to do it. I think it would be a great, we now have a youth committee of Victoria, how many? 8? She's on that committee. I don't know how many members there are. The reason I'm asking, I mean, Lori, I don't think you could produce an Instagram video, can you?
We have 8 kids and they're brilliant and they're smart and they could do this stuff in their sleep.
Right.
And I think it's a great campaign for them because it's future thinking.
Right.
Okay.
But what I'd love to have is someone captain this project to oversee it from this committee.
I just want to say, sorry, thank you everyone for explaining it further. I just want to say, I think a campaign will be more successful if we are pointing out multiple issues. I'm happy to do something on this specifically, but I think it will come across extremely random there's a 10 shorts, 10 reels on this one thing. I think it would be really beneficial maybe to talk about drought friendly.
Well, maybe we can do a
gardening or-
survey to our residents and find out what's important to them. And then from there, take our top 5 and then do a Did You Know campaign.
I have an idea. Because I want to wrap this up. Why don't we make this an agenda item for our next meeting? And everybody contribute some ideas for a series, you know, for lack of a better title, Did You Know? I mean, I like the idea, Justine. You know, and we'll keep it Studio City centric, but environmental ideas or watering ideas, drought, anything that, you know, that we're concerned about in our community. Anybody that has an idea, you know, maybe just send them to me, and I'll compile them and we'll have a, you know, detailed discussion next month. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah. And Denise, just an FYI, in Colfax Meadows, most of the gardeners are there on Tuesdays because they take the trash cans out for Wednesday. So if you need an investigator to catch someone, drive around Tuesday morning, pretty much the whole time. Just
Busted.
They're there every day.
It is every day because I have the ones that I have them out on are on Camellia, I think, and it's typically Mondays or Fridays. So they're
Yeah.
just always
Every day.
Fair enough.
I wanted them to do where they just go and sit there, but they can't do that. They have to have the complaint and the time, and they have to go out and see it. But I love this idea of a series of videos. You can do one on how to submit a 311 request, or
Yeah.
or did you know at the library they provide all these. There's so many city services that people aren't aware of.
I think we have our host, Denise.
Who?
You.
I don't think so, but
Your
I think
camera
Lori'd
ready.
be great.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'd be happy to hop on to make that happen. My point was that I think there's so many concerns. We could do fire safety, we could do earthquake safety, like we can
Oh, yeah.
do lots of stuff to help the community. I feel like it will come across super random to just do one topic. That was my point. But I like the idea.
I hear you. I hear you. Any other questions on this? Or any other topics?
Well, you might say something about the new, oh boy, shoot, about the new laws. Did you know the new laws? Because there's for cars and for houses and electrifying, instead of gas, and the new houses, I understand, are not going to have gas stoves, but something like that with the new laws.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we have to stay within our jurisdiction too.
Well, we're affected by new laws of housing.
Right, no, I understand. That's true. That is true. Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
So
go ahead. Never
to
mind.
wrap this up, any and all ideas relative to a did you know type of project, certainly submit them or write them down. We'll discuss next time. Any and all ideas regarding Centennial, let me know. And then Victoria, we'll talk about, that other project. Again, I put out an email to everybody, like a week before I do an agenda. And if you all want to, add items to it, certainly let me know. Does any committee member have anything, any ideas, future topics, or anything you want to discuss now before we adjourn? Then I make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? There you go. Thanks, Bernice. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Good meeting.